This week's coaching input is about how to manage in crisis. My background is that I'm a pastor. I have been ordained a Lutheran minister for, maybe 7 years ago. Been working in a church, and I've been, burying people and having quite a lot of discussions with people who have been in crisis. Now I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm coaching entrepreneurs to start and lead businesses. But I just wanted to take this experience and knowledge what I have from being a pastor also. When crisis hits you, the first advice I would like to give you is to stop. Don't do any decisions, don't do any big changes in your life. Just pause your life for a moment and just don't do anything. If this is possible. Of course, if your house is burning, you have to go out from it. But during this corona crisis, if you are an entrepreneur and you are afraid of the future, you are afraid of maybe your health or your family and relatives, just stop for a moment. That is the first thing I would like to share you. Just stop for a moment. The second one is to start listening, to reflect. If you are a Christian, as I am, you may want to reflect that what is it that God wants to speak to you. When you start listening to God or the inner voice in you, you start gaining comfort, you start gaining strength, you start gaining wisdom for the future. But first of all, we have to get comforted before we can proceed. We have to get filled with strength before we start going aggressively forward. So first, stop, then second, listen and reflect. The third advice I would like to give to you is when you are in a position that you are starting to feel strengthened inside, you can start making plans for the future. So what is the way you have to reorganize maybe your business or maybe your life for managing for the future? For example, I have to do much more digitalized teachings. I have to invest in a studio and a camera and so on for the future to be successful. I have to start creating webinars, which I have now every Thursday. We have a Swedish-speaking webinar for entrepreneurs here in Finland. And so you start doing some kind of plans on how to manage the future. The fourth one is action. We don't actually know exactly what plan is going to be successful, but something that I have learned from my past and being in very uncertain situation is that you have to do something. Plan well, but you have to execute the plan rapidly as possible, as fast as possible. So just do something. If your old projects are not working in this moment, try something new. Don't just stay and wait for the future to arrive. Just start doing something. And the fifth advice I would like to give you is do things together in communities, teams, in networks, because especially in times of uncertainty, in times of crisis, it's really, really important for you to meet up, hang out with other people who are similar-minded like you, do things in teams. So for example, if I take the webinars I'm doing, live videos where people can watch home, I do interviews with other entrepreneurs. That's just one way of doing cooperation with other people. Think about other entrepreneurs, other persons, and think about how you could cooperate with these persons. Okay, so this was our 5 advice in how to manage in crisis. The first one is to stop, don't do anything. The second one is to reflect and start listening and gaining strength. The third one is when you are in a position of strength, start planning for the future. The fourth one is do action. Don't plan too long. Just start doing things, because you learn to know what is working and what's not working when you do action. And the fifth one is create networks and with people, like do things in communities. Even it could be online, call people and email people. You can do, and we can do this together.